Hey guys, this is about section 3 and 4 in chapter 14 about inner planets. The inner planets all have things in common that make them inner planets. We've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, and they are all very similar in that they are small, dense, and have rocky surfaces. And they're called the inner planets, but they're also called the terrestrial planets, from the Latin word terra, which means earth. They take only a small part of the solar system. They're very, very close to the sun, and they're only a small part of our solar system. The other planets are spread further out and take up more of our solar system. Earth is pretty unique because we have liquid water at its surface, and about 70% of the Earth's surface is liquid water. We have three main layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. And we have enough gravity to hold on to most gases like nitrogen and oxygen. And those gases make up our atmosphere, which extends more than 100 kilometers above its surface. Mercury is the smallest planet, and it's the planet closest to the sun. It's covered with a whole bunch of impact craters. Because of the gravity of the sun, it's pulling in meteoroids and things like that are hitting Mercury constantly. So because it's so small, it doesn't have enough gravity to hold an atmosphere, so it has very little to no atmosphere, and that means just like our moon, the temperature is going to vary greatly. It's going to be super cold and super hot. Venus's density and structure inside are similar to the Earth's, but they're very, very different because the atmosphere on Venus is mostly carbon dioxide, and the clouds have sulfuric acid. So the pressure there is greater, way greater. It's 9 times greater than the Earth. And its surface temperature is super hot, 460 degrees Celsius. And it's hot enough to melt lead. So Venus, it's taken both of these here. There's a thick cloud coverage over the surface of Venus, where we obviously don't have the cloud coverage. Over here, this is what's going on underneath the cloud coverage. They do have like a volcano. Blue regions are flat plains covered by lava flows. And the radar is able to penetrate, and that's why we're able to get those the image of the actual surface. These are false colors. That means it's not exactly what they really are. Mars is red because of the iron-rich dust that covers its surface, and it has a thin atmosphere, but most of it, as you can see, 95% of it is carbon dioxide. And its temperature has a huge range from negative 140 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius. Its surface is rugged and rocky, and it has evidence of ancient volcanoes that were once there. They have two tiny moons, and Mars, so it does have moons there, and its tilted axis means that it must have seasons like we do. Mars, the big question is there water? And it has ice caps at both poles here, and they're made up of water and carbon dioxide, like dry ice. And the surface features look like stream beds and rivers that may have evidence showing us that there was once water flow on Mars's surface. And we think that there might be a large amount of water underground. Now, section 4 is about the outer planets, and these are called the gas giants, and that's made up of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They're much larger and more massive than Earth, and they do not have a solid surface. So Jupiter's composed mainly of the elements hydrogen and helium. So you can see, like, this is all atmosphere here, and then you have a rocky core, and you've got a layer of ice on there. So it's because of that high gravitational pull that they can have an atmosphere that's that thick. It has a core of iron and rock surrounded by hydrogen and helium. It has 4 large moons and a dozen smaller ones. So this giant spot that's on here that Jupiter is known for is actually a huge storm. And that one spot is larger than Earth itself. Saturn has the rings that we know of. And the rings are made of particles of dust and ice. And it's got a very thick atmosphere as well, made of hydrogen and helium, and it's got clouds and even storms that we know that are going on. Uranus is a gas giant. It's about 4 times the diameter of Earth, and it's much smaller than Jupiter, though, and Saturn. It's cold and made of methane, and that methane gas is what gives it that blue color, and it has at least 27 moons. And Uranus is special because it rotates sideways on its axes instead of tilted like we do. And it's about 90 degrees from vertical. Neptune is the blue planet, and its atmosphere contains visible clouds. It's very cold and stormy, and it was discovered because it was predicted by a mathematical calculation that it would be there, and then as technology got better, we actually found it. Pluto, which is an exoplanet, a dwarf planet, is a solid surface and much smaller and denser than any of the outer planets, so it's not really considered a planet now in our solar system. And that's it.